Welcome to the Ripple Effect. This is our first video, and I wanted to wait a little while before we started videoing, but I realized a lot has happened over the last week that we really need to talk about. I've asked my son Christian to join me so we can really talk about the events that has taken place over the last couple of days. He's begrudgingly participating in this with me. Christian, can you come on? Why am I having to beg you to get in here?
What are you talking about?
All right.
I'm good.
So, over the last few days, we've seen some very disturbing things, some very disturbing images on the TV. In your own words, Christian, what did you see and how did it impact you?
I mean, it's comical to a degree to me how things play out. So basically, if you don't know, it's hard not to if you live in America. A very big group of Republicans decided to storm the Capitol of the United States of America because their president did not win the election. They claimed that there was cheating, but there's no proof of that. There's nothing that could have affected his capability of winning because the numbers were really close. Way closer than it should be for something like cheating to be happening.
But what's ironic is that he set up the stage for cheating by getting rid of all the postal boxes, getting rid of all the post machines, making it very difficult for folks to vote, making it very hard for folks around the country to be able to participate in their American given right to vote. And then when all his antics to try to make sure that he won did not work, he started screaming,
they're cheating, because if you cheat and you still lose, you assume that it was rigged against you.
No.
That's his mindset, at least.
I don't know if he assumed that it was rigged against him, more so that he assumed that because he made sure that he was guaranteed to win, that the only way that he could reverse that was to tell people that the other side cheated, not him. You know, because people who are guilty of something always blame other folks for what they've done. But what I found very amazing was how things played out at the Capitol. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this was because I saw on TV over and over again how a lot of the conservative TV stations painted the Black Lives Matters movement, and how when the Black Lives Matters came into certain towns very peacefully, they already had the army there, the National Guard. They already had police there. They already had everybody there because they wanted to make sure that the Black Lives Matter people understood that there's going to be law and order in this country.
Not to mention 97% of the BLM movement's protests were peaceful. 97%. Only 3% of those were riots and looting.
And that was and those were in towns where there had been some police brutality and some major police killings. But what I'm here to say is that I see that there's a very clear double standard in America as relates to how white folks are treated when it comes to their protesting and rioting, and how black folks are treated. I mean, these people actually attacked the Capitol of the United States, and nobody was arrested there. Nobody was shot. Nobody was gassed.
Someone died.
Somebody did die, but that person died trying to get inside.
That was like, and the only reason she died is because she went to the extreme. She went
Well,
more extreme than the rest of them.
I don't even think that I think she was just there. I think that the people who was actually pushing the door open and whatnot, she was there trying to participate.
No. What happened was, I looked into this, to how she got shot. She was climbing in through the window, right? The police officers were claiming that they were threatening, like, all the people there, even her, as she tried to climb into the window, they are going to use lethal force.
No, that's not the person who got shot. The person who got shot was the person at the door that's trying to get inside the chambers, and they was pushing the chamber doors open, banging on the chamber door windows, and one of the Capitol Police the Secret Service shot out and hit her, and shot through the door because they were trying to push through the door, and she was one of the few people.
Sure?
Well, you know,
I don't want
to get caught up into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught up who was shot or why she was shot. I don't want to get caught up in the fact that there was absolutely no police stoppage.
That basically gave
There
him a
was
tour.
no military. There was no smoke bombs. There was no tear gas. There was nothing that says that these people should be treated like the terrorists that they were. But as soon as a black man, asks a police officer a question about being pulled over, he gets billy clubbed and tased, if not shot. What's going on?
This is America. Well, it's America. That's what's going on. That's what's always going on.
What do you mean by this is America?
This is America, Dad. America never stopped being racist. America just shoved the racism in the closet in the hope that you wouldn't peek in from the outside. America is like those drug houses inside of the movies that look real nice from the outside, but then you look inside and they're cooking up crack, they're making meth. They got a lot of bad stuff going on in there. That's what America is.
We look good on the outside,
Yeah.
but on the inside,
Not
we
anymore.
look-
Not in the
we
past
look
4 years. This past 4 years has been basically opening those windows. Everybody sees everything now. Nations have been clowning us since Trump got in office.
Well, racism existed before Trump. I don't want to blame all
No.
on Trump. What Trump did was he took advantage of opportunity.
Trump did one good thing, and the good thing that Trump did was show how racist America still is.
Well, I tell Democrats all the time that they need to thank Trump for the astronomical growth they've had, because if not for him, the Democratic Party wouldn't be as strong as it is right now. I hate that he had to be the type of person that he is in order to help people understand their civil duty, their constitutional responsibility. But it took a tyrant to wake people up. I hope we don't need another tyrant for us to be woken up, and I fear the next tyrant will be worse, because the downfall of the Republican Party, if it survives this, has been the fact that they backed someone like Trump, who was very tyrannical, but he wasn't that smart. What happens when you get somebody like Trump in office that is intelligent? That's scary.
Yeah.
So we need to put in place now some laws that prevent anything like
So
this from
basically,
happening
Putin.
again.
So basically, what if Putin was in office? Because Trump is like Putin if Putin was an idiot. They're basically the same. Plus is the environment that Trump's in, which keeps him from being able to be like Putin. Because we have presidents.
Well, I find it very telling that we live in a world where I just didn't think anything like this in America could happen. I didn't think that. I always kept holding out hope that the Congress is going to put a check on him, and then when the Congress didn't, that the Senate was going to put a check on him.
Are you talking about the storming, or are you talking about Trump being in office?
Trump being in office, that they would not allow him to get. See, they're complicit. A lot of folks want to blame Trump for what has happened in America, but a lot that has happened in America is the responsibility of the folks who were put in the office to put a check on the executive office. The Republicans, both the Congress and the Senate, were put there to make sure that the president didn't get out of control. But they were more concerned about being in power and getting judges and not upsetting the base than they were about maintaining the constitutional liberties of all the people in America.
Aren't we supposed to be progressing as a society? Isn't that the whole purpose of the presidents and all these legislation and all that? Well, isn't that the whole purpose of politics, is to progress? That's supposed to be like the
No.
reason behind everything, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think that's what we believe, but the reality of politics, and this is one of the reasons why I'm sometimes even lately I've not been too excited about it, is that politics has shown to me to be mostly about power and money. That people are getting involved so they can to get power or figure out how to make more money off of their inside information.
America, we looking at America like this is terrible. This is worse out there. It's even crazy out there. Like Hong Kong, for instance. SARS and where was it? I can't remember the exact area, but the black folk that all that stuff that's happening with the police force.
Mm-hmm.
What else? They about to start up basically another Holocaust, but with Muslims instead of Jews this time.
Yeah, well, China got its own issues, and we're gonna deal with China another time. But right now,
Asia in
I want to
general.
look at the fact that in America we just saw our capital attacked. We saw, I think I saw one or two black guys out there. Did you see any black people?
Nope.
I think I saw
I ain't see a single.
a mulatto or a light skinned brother.
I ain't see no black people.
I think I did.
You probably did. I didn't see it.
There's always one of us in the mix, and that's problematic about us.
There's always an Uncle Tom.
Well, I don't call him Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom has been wrongly mislabeled. I call him a Steven. You remember Django? You remember Steven, that person that Django, that had that role inside Django that was, the worst of black people?
Yeah.
They Stevens,
I think it's more like a Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to do this. This is the first part of maybe a 3-part reflection on what just happened in America. Right now, we are just throwing out our thoughts. We'll come back with some very concise deliberation on what we think needs to happen in order to make sure this never happens again. But I'm very concerned with the fact that, we were attacked from within. I mean, all our national security services, the FBI, the CIA, the national security around our country has said that the terrorism from without is not our biggest threat. It's the terrorism from within.
Some people
They
call
said
these
that the
people
most
patriots.
dangerous person in America is young white men.
Nah, I think that's wrong.
I think that's right, bro.
I think it's
Because of all the militias and how they've been worked up into a frenzy to be made to believe that other American citizens are their enemies. Our enemies live in other countries.
I think it's young, idiotic white men because a lot of I wouldn't say that it's specifically.
I'm not saying all
Yeah.
white men, but I'm just putting them in a category.
Yes, from that demographic.
From that demographic. And the reality is that, they've been made to believe that they are the rightful owners of America and everybody else are invaders, even though they did the invading. This country didn't belong to them. They took this country, yet they treat this country like it's more theirs than the people it rightfully belonged to. And we didn't ask to come here. They stole us and brought us here, and then they make us feel like we don't have a right to be here.
And then they call us criminals when they stole. They stole us.
Stole the country.
They stole the country. They stole us. They stole the land around this country because America was not this big.
Well, it's interesting that we talk about that because that's one thing I want to look at in the future about how
The whole manifestation of destiny.
theft has been a part of the growth of America, even from its own citizens. But anyway, I thought it was very important that we did something. I couldn't let the day go by without putting something out there about what has happened this week. I see so much happening in the news. I wanted to get a young person perspective on it.
I mean, but from the standpoint of the Republicans, you gotta think to yourself, what kind of person will go out to a BLM rally with a loaded gun to protect buildings and kill 2 people?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, those are the same people that are storming the Capitol. The ones that think property are more important than a black person's life.
What's happening now is what's bothering me more than anything is that everybody's backpedaling. Everybody excited this ride. You got the Republicans who kept talking about voter fraud. You got Fox News who kept talking about, the Democrats are trying to take away your freedom and steal your liberties. They the enemy. We got a whole channel committed to conservative news that has painted over half of the country as the enemy of white America. And then they try to wonder how this happened, and then they try to pretend like they had nothing to do with it.
No, but the thing is, their goal was to get Trump in office. That was the whole goal. The goal
I don't know if it was their goal.
The goal was
to
to
get Trump in
keep.
office.
The goal was to
their
keep
goal
the
was
party
to
Republican.
keep Trump in office.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like you entice someone to fight someone in school, and then that person ends up in the hospital. Like, that's not what you wanted.
But what they did, man, is that this is interesting. They set this place on fire, and then they try to pretend like they the firemen. And then they want to come around and act like they the fire inspectors. Like they don't know how the fire started and who was responsible for it. They started the fire.
Yeah.
But they also want to put the fire out and get credit for it. No, we're not going to forget. One of the things we want to say in this video is that we're not going to let the Republican Party, who aided and abetted this president in the inhumane treatment of Americans, the treatment of children in cages, the racial slurs, the ignorant rants, to have power the way he did without being checked, and think that y'all gonna walk away without us reminding you each and every time we have a chance that y'all created this mess.
Yes, sir.
You created this mess.
Yes, sir.
You know, when I was watching what was happening on television, at one point I turned it off because I was like, I don't really want to see that nonsense. But I had to turn it back on because I needed to burn in my mind what y'all allowed to happen.
I was laughing.
So that I don't ever let y'all forget.
I was laughing.
What was funny about that, son?
What was funny to me is y'all really think what y'all doing is a revolution. Y'all think that y'all are in the right. Y'all think that y'all are superheroes right now. And that's what's funny to me, that they have put themselves in that position.
The sad thing about it, man, is that the reason why they think that, this is what's so sad, because on one hand I go, how can they be so idiotic? How can they be so stupid? But on the flip side, how can they not be so idiotic and stupid when the people that they voted in and the people that they trust lie to them nonstop?
But how come everyone else can see those lies but them?
Because why would you people...
I watch Republicans not be Republicans.
Okay, why would the people you trust lie to you? Is in their mind, they have to be telling us the truth. This is our news station. These are our politicians. There's no way in hell they're lying to us. But that's all they did for 4 years. And they created this frenzy. Just like they did with Obama with the birther movement. They kept telling Obama he was an American citizen. Let me see your birth record. You don't have the right to be the president. You're not an American citizen. They allowed that to go on, and that gave birth to Trump. It all started from a lie, and then they just kept lying.
You telling me like I don't know? I know. I hear you, Dad.
All right, I just wanted you to understand how this happened, and now they want to come in and act like they the Avengers. Y'all not the Avengers. Y'all the villains.
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
and they're trying to paint,
Nevertheless, we thank you for taking the time to hear my rant. We're going to continue to come to you. We'll cut it off from
the last thing I gotta say is.
Oh, you want to say something?
Last thing I gotta say is when Hillary lost, the Democrats just cried for a year. When Trump lost, they stormed the Capitol. They stormed the Capitol.